Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 182 of the Guarding Up podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview guests, and talk about our love of the game with all three hosts, with Sin Staticless and Des.
Yay.
Yep, Sin, announce yourself to the world again.
I mean, it sounds like something from Game of Thrones, Sin the Staticless. I've been watching a little bit of Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. But hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the magical night of podcast.
Tell everyone what the issue was, Sin.
May or may not have been the cable.
What do you mean? You replaced everything else first, and then the cable did it.
In all fairness, I did do some replacing, some sending back, some replacing, some sending back. Replace the cable, tried on one of the new things before sending it back, and then now back into the mixer.
That doesn't. You just sound like you're using sales techniques to redirect. The true story, people, is I told Sin to do the cable at the very beginning, and he didn't listen to me. He did it at the very end of troubleshooting steps.
Laz, I need my lawyer because we cannot confirm nor deny.
This is why you listen to the IT guy when it comes to tech support.
This isn't Apple, though.
Doesn't matter.
I trust him with Apple.
Okay, Des, this is even just common sense. It's the cheapest thing, and it's just something that probably the easiest thing to replace first. Why not try the cable first instead of buying new mixers and this and that crap? And
I mean, that's why the first you call it tech support. And it is a joke. It's a meme. The first question they ask is because 9 times out of 10, cutting it on and off again is going to fix the problem.
Yeah. I know. I hate to admit that. It makes technology sound stupid. Like, why do you have to do that? But it kind of makes sense, too, because things are getting more and more advanced. Even, like, basic routers and firewalls they used to just be a bunch of stuff hard-coded on a ROM chip, but now they have, like, whole software that they load up. And even though they try to make these network devices reliable, you can't do that with how advanced. I mean, they're pretty reliable, but with how advanced they are these days, they have whole operating systems themselves. Something goes wrong, you might as well turn it off and back on and see if that helps. And of course,
hilariously, it does take. And you would think, even if you know that, it would save time, but it doesn't. Because they're still going to ask the question first, and then you have to explain to them, yes, I've cut it off and on. And then I cut it off, left it off, unplugged it, replugged it, cut it back on, still not working.
Well, here's what I love about it when I'm doing my stuff. I don't have to ask people right away, make them feel stupid. Most of my customers have management software on, and it'll tell me if they've restarted. So I'll start talking to them, and I'll start pulling up the record. And then so I won't ask them unless I start looking. I'm like, okay, uptime 24 days. Then I'll at least let them get a little bit in. I'm like, well, let's try restart. It's been 3 weeks. I'll try to be nice about it. So,
your computer needs a break. Turn it off.
But I need that software too, because there's also people that don't know any better, or usually they're not lying, but there's been a couple of those too. Like, yeah, I restarted, but they don't. I don't know. They just didn't want to tell the truth. But most of the time, if they're saying the wrong things because they truly maybe didn't know, they're like, well, laptop closing the lid, does that shut it down? No. So, but they may assume that. So they may say, yeah, I've restarted it. But then again, that's why my software can tell me, okay, uptime, anything more than 7 days, let's do a restart.
Moral of the story, tech support do know what they're talking about. So try not to be too harsh to them so that they're not too harsh to you.
Yeah.
In all fairness, it is Kingsley. I'm allowed to be a little harsh.
You can be harsh, but I just kind of shake my head. I'm like, you're wasting time.
What is wrong with you?
Because at the same time, it is you, so no.
Right.
We could say the same thing to Sin. Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I guess that's what we've been up to. No, I do want to also hear the job sounds like about the same as before, if not even more crazy hours. But are you kind of getting a feel for how it's going to be overall, Sin?
It'll be fine. I ended up staying a little late on Wednesday, which would have been my normal early out shift. One of the other managers was sick. The other one had a day off. So I stuck around. It got fairly busy. So didn't want to leave the other guy hanging.
I just don't remember, other than end of month, you having that many. You've even had some midnight, 10 p.m. midnight nights, even not end of month, and I don't remember that in the past.
Oh, it was there before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there more now? Or is it
No, that store's always what you consider a late store. Customers coming in late, then you got to wait for the salespeople to finish their delivery, and the finance people take their time. It's just part of that, but it's supposed to be now. We don't all stay; we alternate, and basically one person can stay late, everybody else can kind of go home because there's really no point in more than one person being there. No, although a couple times I've stayed late. The GSM is usually there, and there may be a few beers involved.
Oh, okay. Perfect
So-
thing for your hour and a half drive back.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't get sloshed.
Sure. That's how they do in WV, as you would say. They probably don't even pull you over, right?
Right. Well, I do drive quite a bit through Maryland, so
They may pull you over.
they may.
You hit the WV line, and they're like, "Okay, here's your moonshine. Welcome to WV."
That would be so nice. You have a state police saying there with just like a bottle of moonshine and just say, "Here you go. Welcome back." Mhm.
Except that's the civilized side that you go through. So maybe on the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, if it was like the southern to middle West Virginia, maybe.
All right, enough of that. Des, what's new?
I play card games.
You play card games. I saw you posted a little bit of chit chat with Lumina in the
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Because every time, like getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh, like every time I see that card, which is a Lightsworn Lumina, I of course think of Lumina. Like, sadly, I don't see it that often, but hilariously, it used to be like a top meta deck, so it is at least far more popular, like retrospectively, than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still funny.
Yeah, oh, of course. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Yeah, I do see you lit up in the Discord playing, I guess the game's on your phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of Master Duel.
Yep.
A lot of it.
Master Duel.
A lot of it.
There is a fun game that came out recently called, I have it downloaded, but I haven't played it too much, Lucky Luna. It's a Netflix game. That's what it was. So I guess you do have to have a subscription to Netflix, but they have this thing now where you can, if you have a subscription, they give you some games, quote, for free, part of the subscription. It's a fun game. So Lucky Luna, check it out if anyone has a Netflix subscription, mobile game.
What if you have somebody else's Netflix subscription?
I think that'll work. I don't know if it authenticates. Actually, no, yeah, I do seem to remember when you open the game, it authenticates through a Netflix login. So that would work then. Although Netflix is trying to lock that down more anyway, so you may not be able to do that in the future, Sin.
Right.
No, he's just asking for a friend.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. I don't care. I'm just saying, your friend may not be able to get that to work in the future. Yeah. So there's that.
Oh, hilariously, I might actually, because of my time playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I may be falling into a problem again.
Uh-oh.
Of collecting actual physical cards now again.
That is a money pit.
It can be, but I'm being frugal about it. Because I'm, of course, that there's. Listen, this game has changed quite a lot, especially back in the day whenever I was looking at prices. And yeah, playing a meta competent physical Yu-Gi-Oh deck is expensive as crap. But like I said, I'm not looking for anything meta competent. Basically, things I'm already getting familiar with Master Duel hilariously. But now like cheaper alternatives, I guess. Because there was a structure deck a little bit back. I ended up buying like 3 copies of because it actually makes a fairly decent thing. Comes with some relevant cards and like a variety of decks, and they just released another one, another structure deck that hilariously has a card in it that can be used in a variety of decks that currently costs about $40 a pop. And you can buy these structure decks for $10. And it's like, you know what? Just for that one card, that's kind of worth it. Which is sad.
Yeah. It's like if there was a pack of Eververse stuff in Destiny for $20 and you only wanted one thing, but that thing was really good.
Right? And it would still actually be worth it. Like, then just the other stuff is just kind of there. But yeah, it's like I said, the physical game is getting ridiculous, but like I said, I'm still like a collector at heart, because Lord knows I'm not going to take my grown self and try and find a local scene. Probably.
You could always do rip and shit. Just start streaming your rip and ships of them.
Right.
People find really unique things, I know, to stream and make money on.
Right.
I did see some news that potentially YouTube is going to be, maybe they're doing some tests. Doesn't mean they're going to move this way for sure, but unfortunately locking all their 4K streaming behind their YouTube Red Plus subscription, even for people watching. So right now, content creators can make 4K videos and you can watch them if you can do 4K on your device. But supposedly that might be changing. You won't be able to watch 4K in the free YouTube version.
That kind of makes sense. I can still see that. I mean, that in Red doesn't cost. It's like what, $10?
Probably, yeah. That's the basic one, and then of course they want you to buy YouTube TV and everything else. But yeah, it may be that low.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think just like the baseline Red, it wasn't that much. I think it was about an average streaming service subscription cost. And to be honest, I mean, considering they knock ads out, and like if you can do 4K, it will allow you to do 4K. That's nice and everything, but also at the same time, even if you can't do 4K and you don't mind ads, you still don't need it.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing for the content creators, because if they do that, and the majority of people that watch the videos are not paying for the subscription, so then some of these smaller content creators that have to go through the extra work or bandwidth or storage for 4K may actually decide, is it even worth doing 4K? Because most of my viewers probably aren't subscribing to YouTube Red. Who knows?
Okay. Kind of going with like the old mentality on that, though, to be honest, you don't need the better quality as long as the content is good enough.
Well, of course you don't. Yeah.
Like,
and I was adding that as an extra point. Like they may now. Yeah.
Like, I mean, because I mean, the quality is nice and everything. Like, legitimately, extra quality is going to get you more attention. That's true, but also at the same time, there are plenty of people, like even fairly recently, that can't do it that still like make it. So I mean, what? I think Lupo summed it up to what was it? It was like your personality, or like presentation, your skill, and then a lot of luck. Like,
and
you need
YouTube,
2 of those 3 things.
Yeah, and YouTube is getting popular again with streamers moving over. There's been some Twitch shenanigans lately where a few more people have been moving over, and I know things can change. You, as a streamer, one of the many reasons I would never do it is because you really have to be keeping up with stuff and potentially moving platforms all the time. But YouTube is kind of where the tide is turning a little bit right now for people streaming also.
I've also noticed a lot of people that have been partnered have like not long ago actually been given like permission to be capable of streaming to YouTube now, or other platforms, should I say?
Oh,
So
okay.
because I've noticed like 2 or 3 people that do like, I mean, they're primarily Twitch streamers, but they have a YouTube presence, and they've actually started at least a day or two a week streaming over on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And who was it? One of the Destiny guys, I forget who it was, but he posted a tweet and he talked about YouTube and how people can find you a lot easier for like regular videos and stuff. And he was showing this new Twitch thing, and like you had to stream on average 40 hours a week and have a concurrent 100 or plus viewers or more, and then you would get on average, I don't know what it was, like 3,000 a month. Let's just say that. I don't know if that's even true or not. But then he showed on YouTube just one video, not even his most popular video, that he put like 3 hours work into. And that video alone made $8,000. You know, usually they don't want to show you the numbers of like what they're making, but it was kind of fun. He showed that one, and that was like a short video. And so it kind of shows how like the content creation can make you a lot more money for less work than streaming.
Yeah, I also think that's technically against YouTube's terms of service.
Ooh,
Share that such information. I
yeah,
think.
it probably is actually, because they don't. It's like people in the workforce. They don't want some employees to know other employees.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
part of it, yeah, a lot of people don't like to say, but also part of it, I think sharing like specific, like behind the scenes information from your channel is against terms of service, but also at the same time, who reads their terms of service? And because I didn't, but that's hearsay, and I could be entirely wrong.
Well, we'll see. Oh, and cool news today. We got a trailer for the new animated Super Mario Brothers movie that'll be coming out.
I know, we actually finally got to hear Chris Pratt as Mario.
Yes, and this looks awesome. I'm so excited after the ill-fated live-action one in the 90s.
Dude, Bowser looks so good though. Like the animation is actually top notch.
Top notch and perfectly what you would expect from the actual video games. Mario looks like
Yeah.
Mario. All the characters look exactly like how they should look, and makes sense because obviously, if anything animated can be close to video game, and it's being produced by actual Nintendo. You know, along with whoever's actually, they're not. I forget who's doing the actual production of artwork, but Nintendo's involved, so obviously it's going to be. This is exciting. Have you seen this, Sin? Would you be interested in all in watching this? Check out the trailer.
I have not seen the trailer. I was thinking about watching it here after we were done. We're in the middle. I haven't decided yet.
It's definitely worth a watch. Because again, as soon as I saw it up, it's like, okay, how's Chris Pratt going to voice Mario? Because again, they've had this same dude for like years doing the stereotypical Italian accent on Mario. Like the same guy, since Mario has had a voice, has done the voice of Mario. And in this movie, it's not him. It's like, okay, how's he gonna do it? Is it just gonna be Chris Pratt as Mario? That's gonna be slightly disappointing. But thankfully, it's not.
No, they got it. We have Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Kay as Toad. Yeah, I know, right? Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
I completely forgot that was Jack Black. My God, he does such a good Bowser, actually.
Uh-huh. Fred Armisen, Cranky Kong. This is just great. This is great. I love it.
I also do enjoy that this is going to be like Mario's first foray. Like, I guess you can technically think of it as like a reimagination of the first Super Mario Brothers. Technically. Yeah. I guess. Kind of, because that's kind of how it seems like it's going to go.
Like it, yeah.
By the way, yeah, everything looks pretty good, to be honest, and the fact that Chris Pratt doesn't go like completely stereotypical, but there's still kind of like this New York Italian kind of twang to his voice isn't bad.
Yeah,
isn't bad. Isn't bad. The fact that he's actually putting on a slight bit of a voice to do Mario is very reassuring to me. Because again, it's not just Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt, which is everything from Jurassic World to Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think the Parks and Rec, just Goofy.
Yeah, there we go. Parks and Rec. There we go. Not The Office. I don't know why I said The Office. Ugh.
No, it's similar-ish. But Goofy Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. All right, let's talk about what we've been doing in game real quick, and then we have some other fun stuff to talk about. We also have some questions for us. But Sin, what have you been doing in the game lately?
Ooh, a little bit of rating, a little bit of the story content. Right now, I am actually live update, just mindlessly getting ready to run Castellum and working on some of my weekly seasonal challenges. So I can knock those out for that bright dust pile at the end of the season. But mostly when I've been on, it's been raiding. And still no touch.
You know how many counted runs you have?
3 each week, and we're on what, week 5?
You've never repeated a character?
Yeah, I've repeated a character a few times throughout the
So
week.
counted runs, yeah.
Yeah, so at least 3 times a week I've had counted runs.
At most 3 times a week you've had counted runs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've had, each week I've gotten all 3 clears. All 3
but okay,
clears.
so like take your total. If you had to minus some, how many do you think approximately?
Let's report it real quick. What week are we on? That's so 6.
Well, your total number is 29. Maybe 25, 20 to be safe.
Let's say probably about 24.
Okay. So you're in good company. I know odds don't work exactly like this, but the majority of people should get it within about 20 runs. So you're getting a little past that. So you're a little bit on the bad luck side now. You could stay on the bad luck side and get to 30, 40, 50. But you're not too far past the bad luck side yet. So don't complain yet, Sin.
I might start complaining.
What are you, Gator?
No. I do want it, though, and then I want to knock out.
You don't, though. Trust me. Once you get it, the interest in the raid goes down a little teeny bit. I know from experience.
Okay.
Just a little, though.
Vow Disciple 71 times and got Collective 4 times? 4 or 5 times now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my interest is going to go down on the raid. I'm not doing it just for the exotic.
But sometimes you sound like it when you're like that, and a lot of people do. So, okay, that's good. Then that's fair if you're interested and go down. Yeah.
I've never had to wait to... I take that back.
No, you don't want it. Trust me. It's nothing special.
I did have to wait this long for...
You think you want it. Okay, I guess my point is once you get it, I bet you it won't be that meaningful. That's what I'm trying to say.
Probably never use it.
Yeah. I'm not saying people shouldn't strive to get it. I'm just saying if you can think of it that way, saying you can cause yourself less stress in life. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about it. Be chill. You'll get it eventually. It doesn't matter. You don't need it right now. It's nothing special right now. So that can help even more.
Or not, and it'll be one of those stories you can tell people.
Exactly. That's even cooler. You can be like, I've ran this 150 times and I haven't gotten it yet. Why am I doing an old man voice?
I was getting ready to say that's your get off my lawn voice.
Like,
I mean, to do it.
I mean, legitimately, ask anybody that's played World of Warcraft any extended amount of time. Ask them about their white whale story. Guaranteed, they have at least 2.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to have those.
And it usually involves probably sitting in one spot for at least 30 hours consecutively.
Oof.
Yeah.
Not kidding.
I actually am.
It's usually Ashes of Alarm. Sorry, but that's one of them I usually
I'm
hear.
glad you caught what he was writing. Yeah, I didn't know. Scoot wrote
I didn't
that.
know what he was saying either.
Yeah.
Oh. If I'm not mistaken, that's one of them I hear often. Yeah. Scoot knows. Scoot has no FOMO. It's fine. He's already been trained by MMOs.
Yeah.
Or Scoot.
Yeah, legitimately. 3,000
yeah.
fishing casts for a weapon appearance. Oh my god.
Oof.
Yeah, that's. I've always been a proponent of people in Destiny think they have it bad getting one raid exotic. Ask an MMO player, like
Yeah.
an in-game piece of equipment, and or even just a material to get that equipment. And most Destiny players will be horrified at what they've had to do.
Yeah. Even if you're the person that ran Last Wish 80 times before you got 1K,
Right?
that's still a fun story, and it's maybe not for you, I guess, but it's one of those things. But and I always joke too that I kind of almost want mine to take longer, just because I know some people get a little anxious. With Kingsfall, I don't know, somewhere between run 5 and 10. Maybe it was above 10, even 10 to 15. I don't remember exactly. So it wasn't bad at all.
I don't know. Like for me in 1K, like even if though I had gotten to the point where I ran it so much that I was expecting failure, and I wasn't anxious about it anymore or anything. It was just okay. I'm gonna run it, see if I can get it up, and get it, no problem. All right, let's try again next time, and that was it. But to see it drop is such a cathartic experience. You can't help but just a little.
Yeah, it is. And everyone has different reactions, and it's not like you shouldn't be happy and excited when you get it. I'm not going to be one of these type of people like, "Oh my gosh, I got it!" That start yelling in the mic. Didn't someone shout out someone's ears the other night, Sin? Trying to remember.
I don't know if I was in that run.
Yeah, but still, it's like, yes, I got it. Finally.
Well, shout out to speaking of people who got it. Shout out to RNG Gator who got it last night.
Yeah, and I saw also Liv just recently got it, and she runs that all the time as a streamer.
Yeah,
doesn't she do carries and stuff?
Exactly, and she just barely finally got it on Tuesday.
Right?
The streamers are likely going to get it on a Tuesday because they're running 3 right away,
Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on a Tuesday, and then if they don't get it, they have to wait another week.
Yeah, because that's especially full-time streamer thing. Do all your runs on Tuesday, and that way everything else is just helping.
Yep. Well, I did some rating, of course, too. First, I want to talk about master runs. I know I probably talked a little bit about RNG. Yeah, I LFG'd the first week when I got that done. But then this week had a team, and we did the War Priests on master. And I have to say, it's easier and harder in a way. I would say and this is the same on normal, with totems, you have to be more on point of your own responsibility of staying alive, because there's times where you're by yourself. You have to have good ad control that more you're just in charge of. War Priest, you have teammates to back you up, so there's a lot easier to revive people and not wipe the whole encounter, and people team shooting ads and everything like that. But the problem with War Priest, it was more technically challenging, especially the challenge part. So on Master, that makes it more of a ball buster, where even though you can say it's easier, it was harder and almost more frustrating, because it'd be these experiences where on totems you could mess up fairly quickly and start over again. But on War Priest, we would get longer into these runs, almost kind of like the how long the end encounter of Garden Raid is. It's kind of a longer run on Master, and then when you get closer to the end and then you mess up there, it's a little more. No one cared that much. We were all chill with everyone, but it's always like, oh, that's frustrating. You're that close, But we got it done.
And that's the Thunder Crashing Titans, because you have to take the deposit within 4 seconds, right?
Yeah, that's one of the easiest ways to get it done. You don't have to have Thunder Crashing Titans, but you want to keep as much DPS, especially on Master, as possible. So you don't want to be moving the team close to where the knights are all the time. Maybe a little bit, but not like totally from one side to another. So, because what you have to do is the person, when they pick up a brand, the next brand, as soon as they pick it up, they literally have only 4 seconds before they can swap with the next person. So if we're doing DPS down over here and the knight's way up over on left, 4 seconds isn't enough time. So that's why with where we like to do DPS. So that's why Thunder Crash Titan is the play. You hit your super, pick up the brand, Thunder Crash over, and you can get back to the team in time.
Yeah.
Kind of a funny play, but that's how we got it done.
I got my experience not on Master, but on normal.
Yeah. And like Scoot said, we still had to slide a bit, middle left, middle right-ish. But boy, if we didn't have the Thunder Crashing Titans, we would maybe have to move the team all the way left or all the way right at times and really miss out on a lot of DPS time, which on Master would make it hard because as it was, Master, we were having to get into the 4th phase each time to take him down. The final chance of where the encounter would wipe. I know on normal, my shots with the buffs and everything, with my linear would usually hit about 103k, and on Master, it was hitting with all the buffs only about 63k. So, and with the extra DPS, you can see why we're going into 4 phase instead of a 2 to 3 phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost cutting your damage in half.
Yeah. Yep. And then we had a fun Sherpa run. We've been creating some tags in the Discord, by the way. If you go to the our frequently asked questions getting started channel at the very bottom now, if you're ever interested in getting tags about when people want to do raids, I mean, there's multiple ways we have already. We have the 100 bot. People can post things in the group. But if you are okay with getting notified if someone needs a last-minute raid fill-in, mark yourself as raid, and then you will have that tag. And then what's more, if you like to help with raids, Sherpa raids, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like a big explainer. You can just be another person who's experienced with the raid and can be a Sherpa helper. Mark yourself as Sherpa, and then that will also put you in an extra channel where we have communication among ourselves on how to create Sherpa groups for new players, new to raiding of the raid and everything like that. And we had one last Tuesday where Kato, Ed, and myself took 3 new people through. Well, 2 and 1 who had a low amount of clears, and it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
And we have already another one scheduled, Sin, that you are a part of.
Wednesday.
Yep. This coming Wednesday.
Now,
look for those on the bot.
We did end up, Lord Silent was the thinkover from GDC originally. Had a raid scheduled earlier on the day. When was it? Wednesday, actually. And since I scheduled one for later, but nobody had joined his raid. We asked him to come over and ended up getting him his first clear that night as well.
Okay, so good for you. You got a Sherpa also.
I got
right?
one towards my emblem.
Nice. Nice. All right, let's get into, I don't know, we can do the TWAB first if we want. And we have a couple questions. What do you think, Des? I'll leave that up to you. Questions or TWAB first?
We can cover some TWAB stuff and then we can get into the questions. TWAB won't take too long.
Sounds like an excellent plan.
I've read some of this. Jesus. I thought I read more of this. I did
No, there's
not. Okay, fair enough.
no. It is. It could be long, so we'll have to decide how many details you want to give or not. But
There's, I mean, okay, all right, 12. Um, First thing they're talking about is account bans and why they do them, and an update to their security, or an update from the security team. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But then we have some Q&A, essentially, from some of the weapons team, which is fantastical, and covering some, well, they label it right here, general questions for, like, upcoming things. Like, I didn't realize it was a question I wanted to know the answer to until I saw it. But whenever they implement the full auto setting, if they will keep the full auto trigger mod around. And yes, they're actually going to leave the full auto mod around, just in case, you know, you don't want absolute everything to fire like full auto all the time. So that's like a really cool feature. But also there are going to be some exotics that have full auto, or I guess every exotic that has full auto in it, that they will be replacing those perks with. They do give us some examples, like Traveler's Chosen gets full auto with its Catalyst. They will be switching that to Surplus, which I think just works with Traveler's Chosen, so that's nice. Vigilance Wing, they will be replacing that full auto trigger with Ensemble, which I find pretty neat. Considering it's a weapon that was designed kind of like with that Trials feel. So sticking with your team will give you a benefit, and then if you're the last one standing, it gives you more benefit. So that's really cool. No Time to Explain. They will be replacing that full auto with Feeding Frenzy, which I think is fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Then speaking of Master and doing in-game content,
Oh, I know, right?
Bungie goes on to explain that they've had to make encounters around a specific problem, quote unquote. And they've had to design encounters around divinity specifically. Because, I mean, divinity has become, I mean, it can make in-game encounters almost trivial. Because, I mean, the damage increase that it creates has always been capable of justifying one person not doing damage and running divinity. Like, it's always the case. So they're going to be knocking that down. It gives a 30% damage debuff, but that is the only thing they're changing on divinity, is the amount that an enemy is debuffed. It will still give you guaranteed criticals when you hit the cage, so that's not changing at all.
Yeah, and the cage size is not changing.
Yeah, they're legitimately just taking the weaken, which is a 30% debuff, and pretty much the strongest debuff we have, and they're knocking it down to 15%. Ouch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cutting it in half, but also at the same time, there are still like 20 and 25% debuffs that are like fairly accessible, like Tether and the like.
Yeah, Tether will be getting some play for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like having a night, having at least one Night Stalk Hunter is going to be a strat again. I mean, it's just going to happen. And justifying, as is so lovingly labeled within our groups, the divinity bitch. Justifying that is going to be a little more difficult.
Mhm.
A little.
Yeah, I would agree.
I still think Divinity will be used a lot because it does help the bosses that move around, hitting the crit spots. I could see even you're the hunter now, Div bitch. You throw your tether and then you switch to Divinity.
Right. That's actually one thing I've always been glad about. Like coming back after Garden. Because pre-Garden and pre-Divinity, you always want to run the raid with at least one hunter. And let me tell you, it sucks being the one hunter. Can you switch to Night Stalker? Fine. But yeah, it's a thing. It's fair. Because, it is a huge weaken and plus guaranteed precision damage. Even better than a tether because it's like, because I think tether, even though it's technically precision, it's still technically not precision to proc things like fourth time's the charm and triple tap and things like that, I think. Unless that's changed at some point in time, or I'm just entirely wrong. Either of those are a distinct possibility. But no, just the fact that it's like easy, guaranteed precision hit, plus just this huge debuff. It was strong, and yeah, it's kind of fair. They mentioned they want to do something interesting with kinetic damage type, not the slot, but type, because stasis damage also like occupies that slot now. So, but yeah, so no hints or clues, just cryptic. Yeah. They're also looking to make adept raid weapons more interesting. And basically more viable to run in a crafting system environment, where crafted weapons can gain enhanced perks. But one thing that they are looking at is somehow allowing raid adept weapons access to enhanced perks, but it's not going to be full freeform crafting. And that's pretty much all they tell us, and so it's something to look forward to and how they can implement that. Because if they make raid adept weapons somehow capable of having enhanced perks, that's going to be like a massive uptick, I think, in the interest in running master things.
Yeah, it sounds like obviously the community had been mentioning that for a bit, so it's good they're considering it.
Yeah, I always thought like the adept stuff would always have a slight advantage because especially in in-game content, like adept big ones is like a real boon. Just a massive like boon to have. You're combining two different mods and making sure no matter, as long as it's not a red bar, you're dealing extra damage to that enemy. That's a big deal in my opinion, but hey, Bungie's still making adept weapons even better. Somehow, some way. That's always nice. Also, sadly, no plans of giving more exotic perks anti-champion capabilities. They did mention that they saw that there was basically some space in the pools to add some variety for anti-champion exotic behavior, and that's why they did it in season 19. But right now there are no plans, but it is something that they can do again, is essentially what they say. So that's always a fun thing. And that's basically all of like pre-read through. I don't know if you guys have anything. I
don't know.
Think this left this interesting.
Yes, definitely an interesting one that I posted in the Discord. I'll pull this up here. because this was my theory all along. Everyone was always saying Wrath of the Machine won't come back because we already have Outbreak perfected. Okay? So, this is the line they say. One other thing, and this hasn't come up yet, but in the event that a raid didn't have an exotic, or that the exotic has already come back, we will get to make a new weapon to match the raid. What could that potentially mean? It doesn't mean for sure Wrath is coming back, but it means that Wrath can come back.
Yes.
So, there we go. Hope for Wrath.
Oh. Okay, and they do actually answer one interesting question that a lot of people have sworn is like law. Was the fact that, speaking of Outbreak Prime, the question is, does Outbreak Perfected truly have persistence? Because for those, I guess, unfamiliar with D1, persistence was the longer you fire a weapon, the more accurate it becomes. Which means, the bullet clusterings became better as it was fired longer. Hilariously, neither Outbreak Prime nor Outbreak Perfected ever had a hidden persistence perk. Apparently it just has really good recoil direction.
Yeah.
But there's apparently a bug that makes it recoil more like an auto rifle and not a pulse rifle. So, in keeping of the spirit with the weapon, they actually transferred that bug from D1 and kept it for Outbreak Perfected. So, no. Outbreak doesn't have a hidden perk ever. It was bugged. And
that's funny.
And people say all the good bugs get fixed.
Mm-hmm. Sin, you didn't even pipe up. Are you so excited that Wrath can be coming back? Even one more thing that won't be holding it back? Okay.
I mean, I doubt they would bring back Crota, honestly, at this point where we're at in D2. So them saying that, I do kind of believe that all but confirms.
At some point it can come back, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also another good, just in case for people that use bows, I just also found this, and this is probably going to be the last one, but does stability perks such as Rapid Hit affect the perfect draw window on bows? The answer is yes. Apparently anything that affects stability affects the perfect draw window of bows, which I assume means better stability, means you have better leeway to hit that perfect draw. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's, we might have to come back to this one because it's a lot more stuff.
Oh, there is a lot. And it's funny, they go through a bunch of questions and answers, and then later on they do talk about, which I don't think will be this coming week, it'll be in 2 weeks, but they talk about they're having a mid-season balance pass too, and there's some really interesting things. A huge list that they're changing there too. Mid-season will probably be in 2 more weeks. We have 1 more week of the seasonal story, and then I'm guessing the Halloween event will start right after that. Or maybe mid-season could be this next... No, is it this next Tuesday? Who knows? No, the Tuesday after, that's right, because 1 more... This next Tuesday will be the last week of the seasonal storyline. So the Tuesday after. All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything you wanted to mention, but we can certainly go over this more another time, so no problem there.
There's a lot there. I'm ill-prepared. So half apologies, and also at the same time, my God, there's so many questions they're answering, but I definitely will come through at some point in time, and anything interesting, I'll bring up again.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to be fair, a lot of those questions they're neat or nifty, but I don't know, nothing too hefty other than, hey, Wrath could come back. I mean,
Well, and even if it comes back, it's probably not going to be until at least midway through the next expansion, because we'll have the new raid, and then so it'll be quite a while still.
Oh yeah. We've had our we've had our 2 raids this.
So a good year from now, yeah.
Year. Yeah. Which is
Saying that we
fair. I
were
mean,
looking for the day.
I know, right? Always looking forward to that announcement.
Kato, you still have to play Destiny 1 before Wrath comes back next year.
Requirement.
That's our little joke that we have. He needs to do Destiny 1 campaign.
You have to learn the pain of learning the Devil Splicers.
Yeah. You don't want headshots, even though you do?
Yeah, kind of do, kind of don't. I don't know. I only really hated it, I think, on the hard mode of that raid, because of course everything does like more damage and staying alive is a little more crucial. So, because then you have so many people that just somehow forget that that's a thing.
Yeah. Stay away from the nanites.
Right? They're not your friends.
All
All
I
right.
heard is you want to go back and do a D1 raid right now.
Oh, I would love to within the next several months. We'll get a Wrath going sometime. We have no reason now to do Kingsfall anymore. And obviously Vaulted Glass. So maybe
you may
a
not
quick
have a
Crota.
reason.
What, you want to
I've
go
got
into
this.
Kingsfall now in D1?
Oh, not in D1. I just need touch in D2.
Sin, you change the subject so quickly.
I do.
I thought we were talking about D1 raids.
I mean, we were, and then all of a sudden it's like, you may not have a reason to run Kingsfall. I was like, that's how's running a Kingsfall in D1 going to help you get touch in D2?
Stay on target, Sin.
I try. Sometimes it's eludes me.
Yes.
Good juju. No, Scoot. That's a weapon in Borderlands.
And that's beautiful.
No, I was gonna say legitimately. Good juju is a Borderlands 3 weapon.
I remember. Juju perfected.
It even has perks like similar functionality to actual bad juju, which I find absolutely hilarious because I thought the name at first was just a coincidence. Then I used the weapon. It's like, wait a minute, hang on.
All right. Well, we have one question in the live episode chat, and we have a few in the general chat. So wherever we want to start on that, maybe the live one first, because there's just the one. Otherwise, we've been going through it live. But Laz posted this before we got to questions. He has a question. I believe we only have one piece of Nezarec left to collect. How do y'all think the season will end? And in typical pirate fashion, why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum always gone?
Where's the rum? Sin stole it. He drank it all.
Probably.
Yes. Legitimately.
I'd feel a little happier if there was some rum next to all the stupid artifacts we're collecting in the helm, which is still freaking me out. Then at least I could drink some and calm down a little bit.
Frenzy, I agree that, and I think Kata would agree with that as well. The Marlboro Black part.
Read the thing, Sin. People that are listening to this artifact don't know what he said.
Oh, I know. He said rum goes well with Marlboro Blacks.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
How do we think the season will end?
Same way it always ends, Pinky.
Right? Nothing too...
With more questions than we have answers.
Yeah. The kind of the sad thing in a way with the story ending in the middle of the season is you can't expect anything too dramatic. It's not like in the middle of the season the tower is going to blow up, probably. That would be more of like an end season thing or something like that. I mean, maybe. Yeah. But we could have, I would expect maybe some ending mission that's slightly longer, some cool thing. And then it's just back to the typical and continue to do catch crash to help clear out the enemies. You know? But it has been quite on point with us collecting these and learning more about Nezarec, and they told the story and this last weekly story about how his ship was part of the collapse on Earth that the Traveler pushed back. It was just fun hearing that in the game, in the weekly mission story, them talk about it.
Yeah, because we have several instances of fallen attacks, like as the collapse was happening, and like free. So I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll have all the relics, and maybe they'll combine together like a transformer, and who knows what'll happen. But
That would be interesting to see.
I don't know. I don't know
I
if
don't
that answers this question good enough, but
I don't, because here's the thing. Apparently, like Nezarek was some kind of like mummified corpse, sort of. Either way, he got cut to pieces. I don't know. There's something really weird happening with like Nezarek and like just his pieces, like in general. Because I mean, general. I don't know. The Hive do like skirt death, so maybe Nezarek found a way to as well. But still, it's just I'm still trying to like kind of wrap my head around the idea of Nezarek, and how they've presented him, which usually means they've done a really good job in like introducing something new, you know, or at least to me. Because if I can't easily figure it out, that means they put some effort into it. Which is always good news.
yep.
Or they're just flying by the seat of the pants. I mean, either or. As they've proven, either way turns out to have pretty amazing results.
All right, we have a couple questions, 3 questions actually, in the general chat. Questions for the show from Long Darkon. Hi there. My question for the show is for the podcast hosts. What makes, or guest if we had one this week, what makes you go back to Destiny? Please disregard if the question has already been asked. Cheers.
Raids.
Sin, raids?
Definitely raids. Play with people. I definitely enjoy raids probably more so than most of the other content in the game. Although I do get in my little spits where I like to do triumph hunting.
Yeah.
I have been a little lax on it lately due to lack of time, but I still take a look at it and try to work on them when I can. But definitely the raids.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much same for me. Obviously, I like when new campaigns and story missions and all that comes out. But even when Destiny 2 was in, quote, its darkest days during the Curse of Osiris expansion, when not much was going on, I didn't step away for long, if at all, because we were still raiding. And raiding is more than just, you may say like, oh, well, what if I got all the raid weapons? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, raiding is just a social experience, whether you're teaching someone new that hasn't done the raid before, or whether you're just raiding with a group of friends, your normal Saturday crew, and just having fun. It's something to do. It's there's not a lot of 6-player activities that people can go into. I mean, yeah, we have like the Catch Crash, the seasonal things. Dares is a lot of fun, but a raid is a good 1 to 3 hour thing, depending on your experience and the crew and everything. And it's just fun to hop in a raid or two with friends. And Des, I mean, when you're playing Destiny, what gets you to come back?
100% friends. It's usually doesn't matter what, but yeah, without being capable of playing with goofballs like these guys, I actually lose interest in Destiny, like in general. Back in D1, there was actually, because I played Destiny a lot. First when Destiny came out, originally I was unemployed and had to find another job. But like when I found another job, like my activity cycle just like completely changed, and I wasn't like meeting up with my friends like I used to. And you could see like there was like this D1 like play heat map or whatever, and from like the launch of D1 up until like the Dark Below, I played like consistently almost daily, many hours a day. But like I said, once like my friends fell off, there was like nearly a month where I just didn't even touch the game, like no logins whatsoever. Um, so yeah, it's definitely like no matter what, it's definitely the friends, it's the people I play with that definitely keeps me coming back to like a shooter of all things. I'm an RPG guys. Yeah, I'm an RPG guy. So I mean, yeah, me being this into a shooter is nuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good question. Good answers.
You said raids as well, right, Kingsley? Or
You already forgot.
I did. I'm stunning this one champion inside the wall sector 50 times.
We need to do a rewind. Is saying you can add that in when you're editing the show.
Okay, a little too much.
Yeah, extra work for you. You don't have to.
Yeah, no.
We have Frenzy saying self-loathing. I mean, I get it. Like, there's certainly times too where, and I sometimes don't get people when they say, I got burnt out on the game because I played it too much. Well, like, you didn't have to force yourself to play it too much.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like you're getting upset with the game because you're not having fun, then just don't get upset with the game. Stop playing it some, and then maybe you'll come back sooner. I just feel bad the people that play too much and then they're like, I'm not coming back forever. And then they'll come back like a year or two later. Well, don't get to that point.
Yeah.
Just stop playing and then come back like a month later or 3 months later. And I think that'd be a better experience.
Exactly. Like, I'm 100% a proponent of, if you're not having, I mean, video games are for fun, they're for entertainment, regardless of what like level of entertainment that fills for you. If you're not finding that entertainment, find something else. I mean, there's times definitely like recently, even with friends, or it's recent as it can. Like, even with friends, there are times that I just got like, I just don't want to play like the same activities over and over, or grind out the exact same thing over and over. I spend a week, I play an RPG, probably pop back whenever someone wants to raid or whatever, go back to the game, just do something else for a little bit, come back refreshed.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to collect all the things if it's going to burn you out. Like, I mean, that can be a tough thing to say if you really like collecting all the things. But I guess almost what I'm trying to say too is maybe don't stress about collecting all the things.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, easier said than done. But I don't know. I think the chill mentality, in my opinion, because that's what's an important thing to me in life, can help others out. But I understand not everyone thinks or feels the same way. But I feel like patience can help a lot in the game. If you set your expectations low, or if you have patience, then it really doesn't have to be an issue. All right. Excellent question. And again, we have a lot of people in the chat right now, and I see people writing things. So if you have any questions or follow-up feelings about that yourself, let us know, and we'll try to add that in. For example, Frenzy just wrote, I've personally put 1,400 hours in just over a year just because I want to be good enough to help others, or at least not be a burden. I mean, that's amazing, sir. Thank you for helping out others when you have 1,400 hours is a lot, for sure.
Right. For sure. And yeah, if you put that time in and not be burnt out, that's fantastic. But also at the same time, definitely like I said, if the moment you feel yourself not having fun, just take a step, take a breath. It's fine.
I know it's funny how the question was what gets us to come, and then we're almost giving people tips on how to like not play and chill.
I mean, to be fair, one thing that can get you to come back is knowing when to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect way to say it. Perfect way. And then and it's right now it's very well laid out. You could play. You might be the type of player that would want to put in several hours, like on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and then take a break the whole rest of the week and come back the next Tuesday when the weekly story is out again and all the raid is reset so you can grind for stuff again. I've considered that too. The only reason why I play a lot on the weekends also is because that's when everyone else is playing. Raiding Saturday night is a very popular thing, so. All right. We got a crazy creeper in the chat. We got Rodimus. All right. We have another question here. Unless you were going to say something, Sen.
I was going to say, before it gets too far up, Rage did have a question about Osiris. What's going on with Osiris right now?
Yep. Thanks for catching that. I forgot about that one. I mean, there's been speculation. We haven't had any clues.
As far as I know, isn't he still in the coma?
Yes, as far as we know, that should be the story.
I mean, again, as far as we know, that's what we're told. He was comatose. I think there was a bit of lore. Somebody asking Saint how Osiris was doing. So Saint is apparently visiting him. It is apparently actually Osiris. I mean, but again, I guess we'll find out more about that next expansion. Considering they've already plastered his mug all over the promotional materials. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, and Hazel couldn't imagine trying to get all the red boxes in a season like Tassie or like others. I feel like I know other people that have been trying to get every single red box. Okay, so there is a weekly. At first, it was just get one of the weekly challenges earlier in the season was earn 3 unlocks. But now this week, it's level 3 seasonal weapons to level 10, 3. And this isn't just a normal who cares seasonal challenge does. It's actually a seasonal weekly challenge that gives you an upgrade token to upgrade the seasonal vendor. Kind of crappy. 3 seasonal weapons to level 10.
That's rough.
Yeah. They may change that one.
This might be my Gator Hill, but I still think those weapons need to be able to be leveled up faster.
Yeah, I
faster.
Agreed with that.
It's or you know what? Better yet, like to keep the nostalgia train going, bring back D1 Motes of Light.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can like stockpile Motes of Light. We can like consume them and then infuse a bunch of EXP into our weapons, just like we used to have to do in D1. Since that's a thing again. Anyway.
And you're right, Hazel. I remember looking ahead too, and then the next week it appears to be 2 of them to a level 20.
My god! Come on, guy. Like, ugh.
That's a bit.
See, here's the thing, because again, they learned this lesson in D1 and forcing us to like level up weapons. They learned this lesson. That's why we were able to consume Motes of Light to give our weapons EXP. That's. I'm just gonna stay quiet.
Too. I know a lot of people are upset about the earning the weapons, but I still feel like earning them should be somewhat special. So I'm kind of okay with 5 weapon patterns or less
I'm cool
than 3
with that.
weapon patterns. But I don't like the leveling up crap. And then you unlock some perks, and then if you do that on another weapon, you got to do the whole thing again, even though you've unlocked that perk.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Like I said, unlocking it to craft it. Yeah, 5 can be an RNG slog. That's awful, sure, but I'm cool with that because once you unlock it, you have like a lot of like flexibility in that weapon all of a sudden. So it kind of makes the grind worth it. But just to have another grind and take forever just to get to the perks you want.
Yep.
It's awful.
We've joked about this too in multiple Discords. I know Rodimus will be on my side here too. It is harder getting the seasonal weapons this season patterns than the raid ones. The raid ones drop like candy, especially if you do the extra red border chest and then the once a week guaranteed red border. And then even the RNG drops of red weapons seem to be pretty good in the raid. So it's kind of funny how, we're all getting all these raid weapons unlocked and we still haven't even gotten too many seasonal weapons unlocked.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely did like about FAL. Like not only the optional, guaranteed red border chest or whatever that you can unlock, but also the fact that like gathering up the spoils and turning them in, like your first thing is a red border that you buy. which is like fantastic, which makes like rebuying weapons not just for rolls but for borders. Like, I love that system. Like, it seemed like a great system. And then yeah, seasonal's just kind of meh. But yeah,
I mean, there's so much they could do that you think would be low hanging fruit. Like, why not also have your first master catch crash of the week? You can also get a guaranteed red border. It doesn't do that, right? It gives you high stat armor, but it doesn't give you master. Doesn't give you a guaranteed red, does it? I feel silly now if it does, but but you know what I mean. The point's kind of similar, like with the raid. Like, yeah, it gives you pinnacle, not a yeah. But why not have a master catch crash 1 per week red?
Yeah, like weapon? Make it a pinnacle red border. Like, if you're gonna do a master, like, yeah, I don't. Anyway, I'm gonna start ranting. I swear, I'm getting closer and closer.
I'm holding myself back as much on this podcast,
right?
All right.
Old men yell at clouds.
Okay, another question, and then any other chat that's in the, we'll get to that. But Mr. Monkey, shout out, long-time listener, first-time forum poster. I mean, that's a joke because he's written before, but first-time forum poster.
All right.
Question for the show, especially Weapons Master Raven. What's your take on weapon crafting versus RNG? Okay, but I'm sure there's more to this. Some community discussions seem to be around return to RNG to drive up engagement in raids, as in once you craft a weapon, there's no reason to keep running it, and also perceived lack of value in adept weapons. I mean, we've talked about different points of this.
Yeah. Weapon crafting first. Okay, legitimately though, on one point, I'm still kind of pro weapon crafting for raid weapons. Because legitimately, like, it kind of like filters out. It's a system that people that don't like running raids can more easily get out of running raids. And if you're only running raids for like this weapon, this role, whatever, or maybe collecting all the weapon, whatever, it kind of gives them an out to get out easier, or to get out quicker, which is fantastic. But also at the same time, people that just like running raids are just going to run raids. Because most of the people I know that just like running raids, doesn't matter if they have everything in a raid or not, they'll run the raid to run the raid. So I mean, there's an entire middle area that is like left in this void. But also at the same time, I don't know which side is really better for them.
That's kind of me in the middle. I don't know what side's better for me. I've been getting some really nice, spicy, quote, god rolls of some of these raid weapons, like the Zali's Bane with the good roll, and my sniper. I already have the Midas Reckoning fusion rifle with Reservoir Burst. I'm getting good rolls. But then I hear people talk about them crafting them and getting some enhanced perks, which sometimes are only a little bit better, not a lot better. And this and that. I'm like, oh, do I want to craft it also? And I'm kind of in this in-between point where I'm like, what's more worth it to me? I don't really know. I don't know if I want to put in the work for the crafting.
All right. Also, legitimately, from what, like I said, people tend to say, like, Adepts not being worth it is versus, there are very, very few really, like, enhanced perks that are truly worth it, other than, because there aren't that many that actually do things significantly. I want to say, I mean, unless you're really looking for more stat boosts or more stat boosts, and if you're, I feel like if you're enhancing a particular perk for a stat boost, I don't know. That just sounds weird to me. Yeah,
if it's a weapon you love and every little bit's fun, like Tarnation, the field pref increases ammo reserves. I mean, that's a huge benefit for me.
Yeah.
But some aren't as good. Some are just, 3% damage fall off or something like that, or which you may see numbers of like, depending on how far the boss is, of like an extra 3K difference or something. You know, I guess it helps a little bit. So I'm not trying to downplay that, but again, I'm in this in between period or place where I'm like, is it worth it for me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are definitely some perks that are kind of quote unquote worth it to me. And those are usually perks that like, I think Frenzied is, that like keeps its perk active longer, which those are always nice. And usually those that like, because what is it? I think triple tap like gives you leeway, like more leeway for how quickly you have to hit precisions to get the bonus, which is always very nice. Yes, thank you, Frenzy. But no, like so yeah, those I feel are more worth it because again, the stat boosts, some of them are definitely synergetic, but like a lot of that is like min maxing. I feel for me.
Yep.
Fair
Rags, you've changed. See, that's the joke I've always had. Rage. I always just called him Rags, and he finally gave into it and changed his name to that.
Fair. I guess part two of that question. What was it? Driving engagement. Perceived lack of value in adept weapons. I don't know. Like, because like I said, I always feel adept big ones can be a huge advantage. Just taking out the guessing game of like, is this technically a boss? Even if not, you really need to melt it. The adept big ones, it's got you covered. Because legitimately, that's like for in-game content. Is there like for PvE in-game content? Is there usually any other adept perk or adept mod that's really worth running?
The age-related perk will be a very useful perk that we can add into the game. No, I don't know, Des. I think you're right. That is the one to run.
But yeah, otherwise, like I said, I don't know because to be honest, yeah, crafted weapons are very close because yeah, if by some miracle you hit like what level 20, you basically get adept weapon stats. But like I said, adept big ones can be because I mean it hits champions, it hits majors, it'll hit the boss and ultras. Like it just hits so much that I almost feel like people that think adept weapons aren't worth it aren't really considering the benefit of that. Or maybe they're running something else. I don't know. Because like I said, to me, that's the one that's really worth it for PvE to even run.
Well, and that's a good point
that's
Soccer brings. Can we get another slot on the weapon too? I mean, he doesn't run adept big ones because major spec.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a guy that runs in games. So, I mean, if you find major spec more worth it, I mean, maybe I'm thinking wrong. Like,
well, yeah, but wouldn't it be nice to do both? If it's an adept weapon, have an adept slot.
Yeah, I mean, that would also be cool if they gave it like an extra slot to potentially. Yeah, but also you're potentially double dipping, like because running a major spec like plus adept big ones, like I don't know, that might be a little much.
Yeah, I know. It just, yeah, but it's.
Yeah, like that's the thin line to walk, I feel. But yeah, I mean, giving adepts like enhanced perks, I do feel will definitely close that gap because I mean, yeah, I mean, but I don't really know. Like, I mean, adept weapons usually look cool.
Oh, they sure do. My two that I have so far from the raid, yeah.
Yeah, especially Kingsfall stuff. Like the Kingsfall, because they took the D1 route, which when they started, like Kingsfall was the raid where they gave you special weapons for doing hard mode. I'm just sad that they don't call them harrowed like they used to. But that's fine.
No, it is. It's harrowed.
Oh, it is. It is
Yep.
still harrowed. Okay, because I only see a depth. So, all right, fair.
I don't know if that was just Kingsfall or not. I'm trying to remember, but it is in Kingsfall for sure. I have my Defiance of Yasmin pulled up and harrowed, and it is freaking sweet looking. And I got a good snapshot sights opening shot, or I can do Firefly Demolitionist. So
nice. Also, I meant to ask this question: like with the time lost weapons, are those bottom two perks like just static, or are they also randomly rolled?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair.
Let me see if I have one in my inventory, or I can pull one. Maybe someone in the chat can answer that.
Because like the time lost Fatebringer could always roll like Firefly and the other thing at the bottom. Like that was always there. But the top two perks were random rolled.
Oh, it is the two fixed and two
okay,
random.
So it is two fixed and two random. So I'm guessing the two bottom ones. Okay, I love the fact that the Cullum's Terminus actually has Unrelenting in its fixed pool. Just from just being like a history nut about things, because Cullum's Terminus and I believe it was Zaldi's Bane were the first two weapons, if I'm remembering right, with Leech Life, which is what basically became Unrelenting in D2, where killing multiple targets heals you. It was super good in Kingsfall, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But no, like the look of the hard weapons are just like fantastic. Because sure, the regular wave weapons feels like you're holding something alive, but that black and like reddish, oh my god, it looks so good.
It does. I mean, and it's a little better looking on the Doom of Chelsis, even though I don't care about that weapon as much, because there's more of the red. But the Defiance of Yasmin is sweet too.
Yeah, yes. Yasmin was actually a very sought after sniper in D1 as well. Just because the way its sights worked, it just wasn't, it didn't like take up much of the screen, and it wasn't very cluttered.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Like, yeah, Kingsfall weapons, like, really. I mean, it's fair that they brought Kingsfall back first, because legitimately, especially talking about like, the harrowed variants, the everything. I mean, it really was like a turning point for raids in Destiny, even though there was only like 2 before it, but still, it like set a standard. That most raids, followed for a while, and are still following with Master. So, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so I think that's most of all our questions. We can see if there's any last minute questions. Send live update. What are you doing in the game?
In orbit, staring at the screen.
Well, that's boring. But what have you been doing again? Just some miscellaneous crap?
Gambit, Strikes, Crucible. I did the story mission earlier. Seeing what I need as far as red borders to be able to craft. Crafting is rough for the seasonal weapons. I know, I believe it was Rodimus mentioned he just crafted his second further up in chat.
The second seasonal weapon.
Yeah. I haven't even crafted all of last season's junk yet. Like, the grind for him is a little rough, so I've been kind of picking at him here and there to be able to get all the patterns unlocked.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just our thoughts, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing. I guess I was going somewhere with that. I don't know.
Taipan's probably the only one that I've crafted that I've really, really liked and use a lot now.
Yeah, and I got lucky on that one. I got the raid roll as an RNG drop. I didn't have to craft it. The You know what I mean? The triple tap firing line.
Yeah.
I thought someone was saying that just drops that way because I got 2 taipans. Did you get 2 taipans also, Sin? And neither of them were triple tap firing line, so you had to craft one?
Yes, I did not have a roll like this.
Okay.
Non-craft.
Well, I guess I got lucky.
All right. But no, like that's kind of common, I guess. I don't know.
I've gotten really lucky with my RNG drops and weapons in general. Everything, like my storm chasers, my linear fusions back in the day. Maybe just because I play a lot, so I'm going to get the drops. But I feel like I've gotten lucky with drops. And so that's part of the thing, too. Like, the only weapons I was really looking forward to, and I have a couple on my list, but from back in the day, I crafted Tarnation. I love that, heavy grenade launcher. I crafted the Void Scout from Witch Queen, with adaptive munitions. And then, of course, Osteo. I mean, everyone did that. I may have one other, but this season I am going after. I mean, I might craft. I don't know on all the raid weapons, especially if I'm getting the good RNG drops. I don't know if I'm gonna. I probably actually would even on Zally's. I got an explosive incandescent, so I don't necessarily need to craft that one either. I was going to craft that.
Interesting.
Okay, I want to craft Brigand's Law, maybe, although I did get a Volt Shot on that already. I want to maybe Tarnished Metal. I already have a Volt Shot on that. Oh, I know what I wanted was the Mida mini tool. I don't have a good roll on that. So unless I get one, I'll work on for crafting that.
Definitely go incandescent. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what I want it for is the incandescent. So I'll see. Knowing my luck, I'll get a good roll on it and not have to craft it.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Mida that had incandescent, but I think his first perk was kind of garbage. But I still used it because incandescent's so much fun. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. But boy, this Volt Shot also. Brigand's Law with Volt Shot is so fun.
I was just playing around with that one earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's worth crafting. I heard they do open their special exotic perks. I forgot about that, Soccer. Thanks for reminding me. Little inside joke.
Also, a bit of trivia since you mentioned Striga. Do you know Osteo Striga is actually a weapon we don't technically reload? I guess in a conventional manner. Yeah. I just love the attention to detail to certain things. But I guess because Osteo Striga uses like living ammunition, when you're firing it, if you pay attention, the magazine itself actually slowly deteriorates from the weapon. So reloading it is actually just placing another magazine into it, so it slowly deteriorates again. So it's actually fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be clear, Soccer, that is my full roll for Brigands. I have Threat Detector also, Threat Detector Volt Shot, so I'm good to go, right? On my Brigands. What is up with this? This is crazy. But then, the seasonal challenges are telling me to craft weapons, so I guess I got to go through the work anyways.
But yeah. Blah, blah.
Yes, Kato, we're still going, but we are finishing now since you showed up.
Yep. Time to pack up and go home. Kato's here.
Yep. Everyone run. The cops are here.
I think
Jesus.
It's a bat signal of Marlboro Black said earlier kind of signaled him to come in.
Well, it was a very long wait there, Sin. So I don't know how good of a signal that was.
I know, right?
Oh, he had to hop on the motorcycle and drive and get there.
Yeah, Soccer. We had Sin talking a lot at the beginning of the episode, so and then he was falling asleep, so we had to wake him up occasionally and get him to say something. All right. Well, with that, let's close up this show. excellent episode as always. We thank the live chat for showing up. As a reminder, we will have a special forum post for each episode when we do them live, which is most of the time. And you can find that based on the episode number and the date. So tonight's I posted live episode 182 for 10/6, October 6th. And you can chat in there while we are going live, which is most Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern for our starting time.
Ish.
Definitely ish. And we try to let you know if it changes. We're not always perfect about it, but it's ish.
That always give us about a 5 to 10 minute leeway either way. Like, who knows?
Of course, yeah. But we love your comments and questions and suggestions while we are doing the podcast live. And it's kind of like our version of streaming on Twitch, but not quite. I love this format. It's fun. We don't have to worry about all the Twitch shenanigans.
Unlike some people, we answer questions. Wait, what?
We try to, anyways. I'm sure there's a few we missed in there. We answer the interesting ones.
I'd say Kato appreciated that statement.
Yes. I do want to thank all of the people that have joined our Patreon service. You can check that out. It's only $5 a month if you want, but we don't ask anyone to do that if you don't have the funds for it or do not want to. But it is fun because if you join that, you'll get a private channel in the Discord, and you can change our names. Which, speaking of, Des, what is your name right now? Someone made you change that.
I am a bunch of pansies.
Because
which was it was a fair reaction. Because I always try, like I definitely like try and get in there to like incite people to use these privileges because it's fun for everyone and it's fantastic. So I got a little playfully aggressive. And Kingsley's like, hey, don't forget to, turn in for your monthly thing. I'm like, yeah, you bunch of pansies. And who was it?
Red Grapple.
God, I forget. Yeah, Grackle. Specifically asked me to change my name to a bunch of pansies.
Love it. Remember, you can do that to Sin and me also. Think of something interesting.
Yes. And of course, the way I run it, my name will stay that way until someone else comes up with something else.
Yeah, it's only if we get a ton of requests, then we can start limiting to it. What I was first worried about, but we need more people, and we have plenty enough patrons, and we'd love more, but I'm just saying, like, they're not always taking advantage of that perk. So I'm reminding you guys to take advantage of that perk. But anyways, we appreciate everyone, whether you join that or not. And just as always, even just join our Discord. If you're listening to this podcast, which I know some still are, and are not aware what Discord is or why you should join it, it is our chat forum where we talk to everyone in our community. A lot of fun. You can join it and just lurk.
Yeah.
You can join it and say hi. We are nice. We will not scare you out unless you're being a jerk. Then we will kick you out. But other than that,
or find ways to talk you into leaving.
Yeah. Oh yes. Hey, we've had great communities. I can only think of a handful, like 2 or 3 issues anyone's ever had with hundreds of members. So you may ask, why should I join the Discord, or how do I join the Discord? Well, it's easy. You'll go to our website, which we will give that information a little later in the show. All the information on our website talks about how to join our Discord, join our clan if you want, and our Patreon, and then just everything about us. It's a fun website. So,
yeah. And like I said, you can definitely just lurk, because just our last guest, Rodimus, made mention he was a lurker at first. I'm a lurker. I'm not going to talk that much unless you spark some kind of conversation, usually in the lore channel, or when I'm giving weapon advice.
Yeah.
Like what spawned monkeys. Question?
I mean, yeah, Rags. I mean, having someone tell me to change my name to Kingsley is an easy starter because people have called me Kingsley before, mistakenly. So whatever, people can come up with whatever idea. It doesn't have to be like the most creative thing. Don't worry about it.
As long as there's no slurs or hate speech in there, we're good to go.
Follow common sense guidelines.
Exactly. I mean, follow the basic rules of Discord and don't be a dick.
Yep. But everyone's pretty cool, so we love you all for that.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the housekeeping we need. Des, where can people get a hold of you, good sir?
You can get a hold of me. Sort of kind of on Twitch. Not Twitch, Twitter. Jesus. God, when was the last time I even streamed?
You streaming?
Right? Twitter. DS_Raven. Which I definitely need to clean up my Twitter because the Vestas index is still linked, and as I've confirmed, thanks to a conversation with Mr. Monkey, and confirming how the stats look, since they show us all the stats in D2 now. I'm not going to be continuing the Hephaestus index because they're just, being able to look at the fact that all stats actively change while you're equipping things, it is just far better to be able to compare a specific weapon to another specific weapon. So it's going to be way better than any theory crafting that I could possibly do. So that's kind of tragic. And of course, the collections is not a bad place to go if you need to find something. It's usually pretty explanatory. So yeah, my services are invalidated by Bungie, and I am completely okay with that. But of course, you can also find me lurking in a few Discords. So if they're a friend of the podcast, chances are I'm there. Sin?
Save you again?
Sure.
Twitch. You can find me there sometimes, streaming for raids. Not much recently. Twitter, Sin_Media. And the Discord, next to you two lovely gents. Kingsley. Just take us out.
Where's a fun little change on my name?
That's always
you lose, sir. You can find me as Kingsley Mac all the places, no exceptions, all the places. Anyways, I don't stream too much though. Mostly just while I'm raiding if friends want to watch. Twitter, I'm somewhat active. Obviously in the Discord as Kingsley Mac, or maybe some slightly variation of the name, but you can find me there. And you can find information about our show on Twitter as The Guardian Hub or our lovely website. Remember it's easy, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sin. Thank you, Des. And thank you, Live Chat, for listening in again this week. We really appreciate you all, and we will catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Later.
I'm pretty sure I have a cricket in
Zen,
my,
do you have OBS
we have another
After
cricket.
Dark?
No, we're gonna keep this.
But you wanted to eventually do OBS for After Dark, right?
Maybe.
I mean, if anyone wants to talk, raise your hand. I probably won't have a long After Dark today.
After Dark, after party. Woo!
'Cause I do need
Where's
to
the blues?
go into
I got a
something.
little
But
distracted with comp there because I think that's part of one of the seasonal weekly bullshits.
comp, yeah, I think. Oh, hey, Regs. It was this week or last week there was comp.
Yeah. And I need to keep doing arc damage.
Hello, Regs?
Hello. He's super low.
Oh, looks like you're
super
talking,
low.
but I don't hear you.
See him turning green.
Check your input.
Is that better?
Oh, you're super, super quiet.
Yeah, hold
I
on.
need you to stick the mic inside your mouth.
Let's not do that. I just got a studio mic and I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Nah,
maybe
fair.
check the input source too in Discord.
This
And
is
You
make
know.
sure you change the cable. Change the cable first.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
change my name 6 or 7 times.
Yep.
Hey, I prefer 6 and 9 times, but whatever. floats
6
boat.
and 9.
Put your left foot in. You take it out. Check it all about.
So you said you're
Hokey-dokey.
back
That is
back in the game?
hokey-pokey, damn it.
Yeah, sometimes I tune in when I can. I'm just like real quiet now and again.
Yeah.
But here recently, I've just been actually getting a new tattoo, so
Oh,
that's fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, we never forget people when they go and then come back. So it's not a big deal. Like we said, it's totally normal to go away from the game for a little bit and then come back.
Absolutely a big deal.
Oh
Way
yeah,
more.
like here recently, I've played. Last time I played, like actually played was week 2, I believe it was, and then I just recently got my new PC working. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
Solid.
That's definitely solid. I looking into cleaning out my PC and maybe getting a liquid cool for my CPU. See if that helps with the heat a little bit.
Oh, I hear that's all fun and games.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but here recently I just moved back from Arizona, so I came back to Kansas and all this other fun jazz. So happy fun times, I guess.